All right, let's dive into the world of astrology today.
Sounds good.
We're doing a deep dive into astrovibe.fr.
Yeah.
You've given us all these articles and blog posts, so
Lots to work with.
we're going to try to pull out the most interesting parts for you.
Absolutely.
So I'm already noticing something right off the bat.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just about
Right.
checking your horoscope for a quick, what's going to happen today kind of thing.
No, definitely not.
It's a lot about self-knowledge and personal growth.
That's what's really interesting to me.
Yeah, it's almost like they're inviting you on a journey
Okay.
to understand yourself.
Yeah.
And they keep mentioning the birth chart.
Right, the themastral,
Yeah.
they call it.
Yeah, the themastral, which is super important to them.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
They actually call it a hidden treasure.
Uh-huh.
It acts like your own personal compass.
And that's key to their whole approach.
Okay.
Okay.
But a compass needs a map, right?
That's a good point.
So how do they actually help people understand their birth chart?
Well, they have a tool on their website to calculate it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, you can put in all your birth information.
Okay.
And even if you don't know your exact time,
Oh, wow.
they give instructions.
Okay.
So it's really interesting.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
So they want everybody to be able to figure that out.
Absolutely, uh-huh.
Now, they do have daily horoscopes,
Yes, they do.
but those also seem to be a little different.
Definitely.
They say that they're personalized for each sign.
So it's not like
Yeah.
just a generic, today Geminis will feel adventurous.
Right.
They go way deeper
Yeah.
and give more tailored insights.
Like a custom horoscope almost.
Exactly.
And they have a compatibility test,
Mm-hmm.
which seems like a fun way to look at relationships.
Right. Especially romantic ones. You can
Yeah.
see, how the signs interact.
So is that also unique in any way?
Well, they frame it as a way to kind of see potential dynamics.
Huh.
It's not about
Right.
finding the perfect match,
Yeah.
but rather understanding the strengths and challenges that might come up.
Oh, that's a good way to think about it.
Yeah.
So it's more about gaining insights.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we talked about the website.
Yeah.
What about that blog content you mentioned?
Right. The blog is where they really dive in,
Okay.
into nuanced astrological concepts.
Okay, give me an example.
Sure. Like the black moon.
Black moon.
Uh-huh. They even talk about 3 different types of black moons.
I've never even heard of one black moon.
Oh, it's fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I have a lot to learn.
There's the true, the mean, and the corrected.
3 black moons.
Yeah.
What's that about?
Well, first of all, you have to understand the black moon isn't a celestial body.
Oh.
It's actually a point in space,
Okay.
and it represents kind of like a hidden or a shadow self.
Yeah. Interesting.
The parts of us we might not be fully aware of.
That sounds kind of mysterious.
A little bit, yeah.
So how do the 3 different types come in?
It's basically different ways of calculating its position
Oh, okay.
in your chart. Like the mean black moon uses a simplified orbit, while the true one considers actual lunar movement.
Huh.
And then the corrected black moon takes it even further and factors in other nuances.
So that's getting pretty technical.
It can be, yeah.
But what does it all mean?
Well, no matter which type you use,
Yeah.
it's about uncovering those deeper motivations and desires
Okay.
that might be operating below the surface.
Like a hidden room in your personality.
Yeah, it's a good analogy.
That's pretty cool. And I could see how it fits with,
Mm-hmm.
their emphasis on
Yeah.
self-discovery.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's the black moon.
Mm-hmm.
What other interesting concepts are they exploring?
Well, there's a post about the moon and the solar revolution.
The solar revolution.
Yes.
What's that?
It's basically like a yearly horoscope,
Okay.
but personalized to your birth chart.
So instead of just like a general,
Right.
exactly. This is what's going to happen to everybody with this sign.
Mm-hmm.
It's
That's specific to you.
okay. And what does the moon have to do with it?
Well, the moon in your solar revolution chart,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of highlights what emotional themes might be prominent for you.
For that year.
Yeah, that year, uh-huh.
So it's not about predicting specific events.
Right.
It's about
understanding
the emotional landscape
I see.
of the year.
Interesting.
Yeah. And again, this is based on your individual birth chart.
Okay.
So it
all comes back to that.
Exactly.
It's all about personalized interpretation.
really is.
I'm noticing a pattern.
Uh-huh.
I like it.
Yeah.
Now, they also have a post about...
Elizabeth Tessier.
Yes.
Okay.
She's a prominent French astrologer.
Yeah. So what's so interesting about her story?
Well, she's a real pioneer.
Okay.
She brought astrology to a much wider audience, on French television even.
Wow.
And she's made some high-profile predictions about major events.
Wow, that must have been controversial.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
She faced a lot of criticism from the scientific community.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, astrology often walks that line between, is it a legitimate field of study?
Exactly.
Or is it just entertainment?
Mm-hmm.
So how does Astrovibe handle that?
Well, they acknowledge the debates,
Okay.
but ultimately they say it's a valuable tool for self-knowledge.
So they're not saying everybody has to believe in it.
No, definitely not. They're just saying
It's more about,
yeah.
if you're open to it, you can learn a lot
Okay.
about yourself.
Yeah, that makes sense. And whether you agree with,
Right.
her methods or not,
Yeah.
her story definitely shows how much power astrology has to captivate people.
Yeah. It really captures people's imaginations.
Yeah. And it also shows us that there are different schools of thought within astrology.
Yes, definitely.
I'm realizing that more and more as we go through all this stuff.
Yeah, it's not just one right way to understand it.
Yeah. It's about exploring those different perspectives and seeing what works for you.
Exactly.
Huh?
Yeah. That's what makes the blog so rewarding.
Yeah.
It encourages you to think critically, challenge your assumptions,
Yeah.
and really deepen your understanding.
So it's like they're saying, here are some starting points,
Yeah.
but you're the one who has to go on the journey.
You're the captain
Yeah.
of your astrological journey.
Okay. So we've talked about some of the basics on the website. We've touched on 3 of the blog posts.
Yep.
The Black Moon.
Right.
The Moon in the Solar Revolution. And Elizabeth Tessier.
What are you seeing as some of the overall insights?
Well, one thing that's interesting to me is they're bridging the gap between the fun pop culture side of astrology.
Right, like the daily horoscopes.
Exactly, the compatibility tests, and then the more complex nuance side where you're looking at personalized interpretations and really going
Deeper, yeah.
Yeah.
So they're giving people an entry point, but then encouraging them to
dive deeper.
Yeah. I like that.
And they make it really accessible.
Yeah.
The blog posts are informative but also engaging. They're not bogged down with technical jargon.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's a good balance.
Because then it doesn't feel intimidating.
Right.
For beginners.
I used to think of astrology as just a fun, lighthearted thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like checking my horoscope for a quick laugh. But looking at Astrovibe, I'm starting to see it in a new light.
It can be fun and lighthearted, but it can also be a really powerful tool for self-discovery.
I think that's the beauty of it. It has different layers. You can engage on whatever level you're comfortable with.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, but I think Astrovibe is doing a great job of showing people there's more to it than just your sun sign. There's a whole world of personalized insights out there.
And they're making it feel welcoming and accessible.
Absolutely.
Even if you're a beginner. So for you, our listener, what's resonating with you so far?
What parts are you finding most interesting?
Yeah. What questions are swirling in your mind?
Hold on to those thoughts.
Yeah.
Because in part 2, we're going to dive deeper.
That's right.
Into those specific blog posts.
Yeah, we're going to unpack all those hidden gems of wisdom.
Get ready for some serious astrological exploration.
I'm excited.
Me too. Welcome back to our deep dive into astrovibe.fr.
I'm excited to keep going.
We talked in part 1 about how they present astrology as this tool for self-discovery. And now I think we're ready to explore those blog posts.
Yeah, let's dive in
a little deeper.
I want to start with the Black Moon.
Okay, yeah.
That one really caught my attention. It's not something you hear every day.
No, not at all.
And the fact that there are 3 different types.
Right. The true, mean, and corrected. That's pretty unique.
It's fascinating to me.
And that highlights something important about Astrovibe's approach.
What's that?
That it's not one size fits all.
Right.
It's all about personalized interpretations.
Yeah, I'm starting to see that.
Yeah.
So how does the Black Moon concept fit into that?
Well, the Black Moon is this point in your birth chart that's calculated based on the moon's orbit.
And it's not a celestial body, right?
No, it's not an actual physical thing. Okay.
It's a point in space.
So it's kind of a virtual point.
Yeah, like a theoretical point.
Okay, interesting.
And depending on which method you use.
Like the true, mean, or corrected.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Its position in your chart's going to be slightly different.
So it's like having a slightly different angle on the same object.
A great way to put it, yeah.
Quite cool.
And the black moon itself represents those hidden parts of ourselves.
Okay.
Like the desires and motivations that might be operating below the surface.
So it's like a secret room
in
your personality.
It's a good analogy.
That could hold some unexpected treasures.
Right.
And I guess Astrovibe is saying, don't be afraid to explore that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Don't judge those hidden parts.
Right.
Understand them.
Yeah.
Integrate them.
Yeah. So it sounds like it's all about going beyond the surface.
Definitely.
Okay, so we talked about the black moon.
Let's move on to the moon and the solar revolution.
Okay.
You explained that it's like a yearly horoscope, but based on your birth chart.
Yeah, personalized.
Can you remind me how that works?
Sure. So imagine your birth chart as a snapshot of the sky. At the moment you were born.
Okay.
The solar revolution takes that snapshot and looks at how the planets are interacting with your birth chart positions.
During the year.
Exactly.
Okay, so the moon plays a big role in this, right?
It does, yeah. The moon's position in the solar revolution chart is going to highlight what emotional themes are going to be most prominent for you.
That year.
During that year, yeah.
So, like, for example, if the moon is in a certain house or sign, that could indicate where I might experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the most emotional intensity.
The areas where you're going to be most sensitive or experience shifts in your inner world.
I see, okay. So it's like a personalized
emotional forecast for the year.
And again, specific to your chart.
Right. So it's all about that personalized interpretation.
That's the theme here.
Yeah, I'm seeing that.
It's not about those generic horoscope readings.
Right.
It's about going deeper.
And embracing that, yeah. Okay, so we talked about the black moon, moon in the solar revolution.
Yeah.
What about that Elizabeth Tessier post?
Oh, yeah, that one brings up a bigger question.
Yeah.
About astrology. Is it a legitimate field of study?
Yeah.
Or just entertainment?
Right.
She's a very public figure, and her work sparked a lot of controversy.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
So she was celebrated by some, criticized by others.
Yeah, for sure.
So how does Astrovibe handle that tension?
Well, they acknowledge that there are different perspectives. They don't shy away from the debates. But ultimately, they present astrology as a tool for self-knowledge.
Yeah.
No matter what you believe about its predictive power.
So they're not trying to say,
no,
everybody has to buy into it. They're just saying, hey, if you're open to it, there's a lot to learn here.
There are some interesting things you can learn about yourself.
I like that.
Yeah.
And I think Elizabeth Tessier's story shows that astrology does have this power.
It does.
Captivate people.
Yeah, to inspire people.
Yeah.
And, it highlights that there are different schools of thought.
Right. There's not just one right way to do it.
Yeah. It's a complex.
It's a whole field. Yeah.
And multifaceted field with a really rich history.
And Astrovibe seems to embrace that.
They do. Yeah. They're not saying this is the only way to do it.
Right.
They encourage you to explore the different approaches. Find what works for you.
That's cool.
That's what I think makes it so refreshing.
It's an invitation to really think critically.
Right. Challenge those assumptions.
Yeah, deepen your understanding.
It's like they're saying, come on, let's dive into this together. But don't be afraid to,
question things.
Question things.
Form your own opinions.
Yeah, I like that.
And that open-minded approach, I think, is what makes them stand out.
Okay, so we've covered the black moon, moon in the solar revolution, and Elizabeth Tessier.
Right.
What are some of the overall insights for you?
What I think is really interesting is how they bridge the gap between the fun, like, pop culture side, astrology, the horoscopes, compatibility tests, and the more complex, deeper side, where you're really doing a lot of self-exploration.
Yeah. So they're saying, here's the entry point, but don't stop there.
Keep going.
Keep going. There's more to discover.
Yeah. I like that.
And they make it accessible. Like I said, the blog posts.
Right.
They're informative. They're engaging.
Yeah.
But they're not overly technical.
Right. Which can be intimidating.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So it's a good balance.
I used to think of astrology as a fun, lighthearted thing. Mm-hmm. You check my horoscope for a laugh.
Oh, yeah.
But now I'm seeing it differently.
Okay.
It can be that.
Yeah.
But it can also be this powerful tool.
For growth.
Yeah.
That's what I think is so cool about it, that it has these different layers.
Right. You can engage with it on any level you want.
Exactly.
But Astrovibe's doing a good job of showing that it's more than just your sun sign.
There's so much more to explore.
Yeah. They're making that world feel welcoming.
Yeah.
Accessible.
Even if you're a beginner.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
So what about you, listener? What's resonating with you? What are you finding most interesting?
What questions are coming up?
Hold on to those, because in part 3, we're going to get practical.
We're going to get into how to
apply these insights
to
your own life.
All right. Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive.
Yeah, we've explored a lot with Astrovibe.
We have.
So much interesting stuff.
It's time to bring it all home.
Let's talk about actually using these insights in your own life.
Right, because it's one thing to read about it, but how do you actually apply it?
Exactly, that's the key.
So let's say someone is facing a big career decision.
Oh, yeah.
How might Astrovibe help?
Well, they might encourage you to look at Saturn in your chart. Mm-hmm. Now, Saturn often gets a bad rap.
Why is that?
Because it represents challenges.
Oh.
Limitations, things like that.
Right. So people think of it as a negative thing?
Yeah, like a bad planet. Mm-hmm. But it also represents areas where you can develop discipline.
Oh, okay.
And mastery.
So it's not all bad.
No, not at all.
It's
about understanding where you might need to work harder.
Yeah, and maybe where you have the potential to really excel.
Exactly.
If you put in the effort. Mm-hmm. So it's not like, Saturn's in a bad place, my career's doomed.
No.
It's more like,
this
is where I need to focus.
This is where you need to really hone your skills.
Okay, and I know they also talk a lot about the 10th house.
Oh, yeah, the 10th house is all about career, public image, that kind of thing.
So looking at, what planets are in that house.
Could give you insights into your talents and aspirations.
So it's like using astrology as a guide.
Yeah.
Not a set of rules.
Exactly. It's a roadmap, not a rule book.
Yeah.
You're not just blindly following what's written.
You're using the information to make your own choices.
Exactly. You have the power.
That makes sense. Mm-hmm. What about relationships?
Oh, relationships, yeah.
How could Astrovibe help with that?
Well, think about their compatibility test.
Okay.
It's not about finding the perfect match.
Right.
It's more about understanding the dynamics that might come up.
Based on your signs.
Exactly. You and your partner's signs.
So, you might find out you have different communication styles.
Oh, yeah, that happens a lot.
But instead of freaking out about it,
right,
you can use that information to navigate it.
It's about bringing awareness to the relationship.
And understanding.
Yeah. Instead of getting frustrated,
you
can approach those conversations with more compassion.
Right. And find ways to work together. Uh-huh. And I think that applies to all kinds of relationships.
It does, yeah.
Not just romantic ones.
Family, friendships, even work relationships.
It's all about communication. Mm-hmm. So Astrovibe can help us build
stronger connections.
Stronger, more fulfilling connections.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, we've talked a lot about self-knowledge. Mm-hmm. But how does that translate into actual growth?
Well, they believe astrology helps us understand our patterns, our tendencies, the areas where we might need to challenge ourselves.
Give me an example.
Okay. Let's say you avoid conflict.
I do that.
A lot of people do. Mm-hmm. And you're wondering why Astrovibe might say, look at Mars in your chart.
Mars. Okay.
Because Mars represents assertiveness.
Oh, okay.
How we handle confrontation.
So if I understand how Mars is working in my chart, that could give me some clues.
Yeah, it might show you why from conflict.
From those situations.
And then I can work on it.
Exactly, if that's something you want to change.
So it's not just about accepting it as fate. It's about using it.
It's a starting point.
Yeah.
For growth.
Okay, I like that.
It's about taking ownership of your choices. So it's not, Mercury's in retrograde, that's why my day's bad.
No, it's about understanding the energies.
Okay.
And making conscious choices.
So I'm not a victim of the planets.
You're in control.
I like that.
You have agency.
That makes Astrovibe's approach so...
Empowering,
yeah.
It's not about predicting the future.
It's about creating it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the one thing you want our listener to remember?
I think it's that Astrovibe offers this really unique and empowering approach. Yeah. It's about using the stars to illuminate your path.
Not to predict your future.
Not to tell you exactly what's going to happen.
Right. It's more about understanding.
Yeah. It's a guide.
Yeah, guide. Okay.
And your birth chart isn't a set of limitations. It's a map of possibilities.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
It's all about the possibility.
And embracing that journey of self-discovery.
Yeah.
With all its twists and turns.
Right. Because we're always growing and changing.
Exactly.
That's life.
You have the tools and the wisdom.
To navigate it.
To navigate it.
Beautifully said.
Thank you.
So, listener, what resonated with you?
What new perspectives did you gain?
Yeah. What questions are you still thinking about?
This deep dive is just the beginning.
It is.
The world of astrology is vast. It's ever evolving.
Just like us.
Exactly.
Astrovibe has given us a little glimpse.
It's a starting point.
Yeah.
But the real journey begins when you explore your own.
Your own astrological landscape.
Yeah.
That's where the magic happens.
That's where the fun begins.
So we encourage you to keep exploring.
Ask those questions.
Keep diving in.
See where the stars lead you.
Because, as Astrovibe says,
the possibilities are endless.
And on that note, we bid you farewell.
Until our next deep dive,
may your skies be clear.
And your journeys insightful.